Hi, my name is Jetta Vaughn, and today I want to talk to you about a challenge that feels old enough to have its own AARP card, and that's the assumption that men should be the breadwinners and women should be the caregivers. This belief shows up everywhere from job descriptions to performance evaluations, pay decisions, social expectations, and even compliments given to new parents. And while we've made progress, these assumptions still quietly influence major life choices, power dynamics, and workplace opportunities. But Ruth Bader Ginsburg showed us something powerful. The law may be written in ink, but culture is written in pencil. And pencils have erasers that can be erased. My inspiration for this presentation comes from the movie On the Basis of Sex, which follows Ruth Bader Ginsburg as she fights her first landmark gender discrimination case, Moritz versus Commissioner. A man, yes, a man was denied a tax deduction for caregiving because the law assumed that caregiving was women's work. Ruth seized that opportunity and she saw that if law hurts a man for not fitting the gender role assigned to him, then it exposes the whole system of gendered expectations. And what I loved about this movie is that Ruth didn't just fight sexism by arguing for women, she fought gender inequality by attacking the assumptions that hold for all genders back. And that's exactly where my argument comes in today. If we want real equality, women and men, we have to get creative like Ruth and challenge assumptions baked into our laws, workplaces, and homes. Despite progress, society still holds on tight to its 1950 starter pack with their ideas about gender. Women are expected to naturally take care of the kids. Men are expected to naturally provide financial stability. Women who prioritize their career are judged as less nurturing. Men who stay at home are judged as being less ambitious. These ideas affect just about everything. When it comes to pay equity, women lose an average of $295,000 over a lifetime due to caregiving interruptions. And fathers tend to get a fatherhood bonus at work while mothers get a motherhood penalty. They're expected to just care for the family's well-being. The challenge is not just practical, it's cultural, it's organizational, and it's policy-based. And like Ruth, we need creativity, not just complaints. We need to create meaningful, lasting change. So why do we do it? And why are gender expectations still persistent? The reality is, people still cling to how it's always been done, or how it's always been, even though it doesn't work for modern families. A lot of policies were designed when one-income households were the thing. Many workplaces and governmental policies still assume that somebody's at home full-time. Caregiving has become an undervalued labor. The economy treats care work like women's work, even though it's essential and everyone should be doing it. Men face a stigma surrounding caregiving. When we shame men out of caregiving, we trap women into it. RBG recognized something that we need to remember. The path to gender equality is through dismantling rigid expectations, not just for women, but for everybody. What can we do as individuals? We can challenge these gender norms. Women reframe caregiving. It's not just a woman's duty, it's a family affair. We can model shared responsibility. Do we need to create an equity agreement that we sign? Maybe not. But we can shake hands on it and agree to talk about it from time to time and share the responsibility. Let's use our voices creatively. Gentle correction really helps. If someone asks, hey, isn't that something a woman should do? We can just say, not in our house. We actually split those. And we plant the seeds that people can't unhear. We can advocate for ourselves at work, be very proactive in the discussion of parental leave, work transitions, and what growth looks like when we come back to the organization after giving birth, after caring for a family, friend, or loved one. And encourage men to actually take their parental leave. The fastest way to normalize women working is to normalize men being caregivers. Let's share this responsibility. So what can organizations do? First, let's offer some gender-neutral parental leave and encourage men to actually take it. Make flexibility the default. It's not a favor. Everyone should feel like they can be flexible and have hybrid options so that we can all participate in the caregiving process. Let's eliminate some of the gender wording and job descriptions. Fast-paced, always available, nurturing, those type of things. Support and encourage fathers to be active in attending school events, medical visits, caregiving responsibilities. And let's make performance based off of reward outcomes, not the amount of time that we're spending in an office. Fun fact, the US is the only high-income industrialized country that does not have a federal law guaranteeing paid parental leave. That needs to change immediately. We need to implement national paid family leave for all genders. We also should think about expanding access to childcare and making it affordable for everyone. How do they expect families to grow if we can't afford the childcare? We also need to update tax and legal structures that assume gender roles, like RBG did when she fought in Moritz. We must remove the laws that apply who should be at home and requiring pay transparency. Women are still getting paid less on the dollar than men. African American women, Hispanic women, that shrinks. Research shows that when we have pay transparency, it narrows the gender pay gaps, combats assumptions about who needs higher pay. And let's incentivize employers to actually adopt some of these supportive policies. I don't know about you, but I think they will be a lot more on board with it if we gave them some tax breaks. Ruth Bader Ginsburg taught us that the law and society can be rewritten, but rewriting starts with creativity. If women challenge outdated assumptions, if organizations remove bias from their structures, if policymakers design systems for today's families, not yesterday's families or fantasies, then we create a world where caregiving is shared, opportunity is equal, and gender does not define your destiny. RBG once said, real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. Let these be our steps.